call me.
Vulcan, you came. Thank you. But I think that... I'm sorry. My time is near.
You're not dying here. Tell me what I can do.
I need medicine, a potion, a bandage, something. My strength is almost gone. I can't do it myself.
Here, I got what you need. That's gonna help.
I thought I wouldn't make it. Thank you, Vulcan.
Don't mention it. I was just passing by, you know. How the hell did you get yourself into this mess?
After you disappeared, I got separated from the other survivors. 3 other scribes were with me, but we were attacked by one of the concubines. It was the Creator, one of Blackfrost's wives.
She let you go?
I wish she had. No. The other scribes threw themselves at her so I could escape. They gave their lives to save me. That goddamned piece of filth! I'm gonna make her pay!
I've never seen you this angry before. But there are other, more urgent things first. We should leave here. We're camped just outside the sewers. Go and get some rest there.
Surprised to find that he is happy to still be alive.
There was no way I was gonna leave you like that. Come on, let's get you out of here. Mathras, go back and wait for me at the camp. I'm sure you know the way. You probably built the road or something, right?
further.
Edwin. Or should I say, White Lady. It's nice of you to come and see me. You left in such a rush.
Laugh while you can, you idiot. Your stupidity has condemned this world.
That's funny, coming from a fallen ice lady.
You had a chance to take Black Frost by surprise. A unique opportunity to thwart him. And you let it slip through your fingers.
What? You think I'm here to enjoy the scenery?
You are here because he wishes it so. He's waiting for you. You have given him time to prepare for you, to think of a way to get his hands on the power you hold. And there can be no question of letting him do as he wishes. For over a year I have labored alone to liberate the World Heart. The power belongs to me and no one else.
Don't worry. I'm gonna give you more than you can take.
Short, but sweet.
I found your crystals.
Good. Very good. But I'm afraid that it's too late. Look around you. There's only a handful of us left. As soon as Black Frost turns his attention to the camp, we are finished. What's the point of wearing myself out to make this talisman for you? We may as well just surrender. You were able to resist the demon while keeping some of its powers. But we are in a dead end.
Do you think we're finished? Very well. Just sit down there and wait till they kill you, if that's what you want. It won't be long. I'm going to keep going, and I don't need you. I'll just find somebody else to help me. Mathras, for example. And in the end, I'll take on Black Frost, with or without you. Don't count on me to give up or wait for death while twiddling my thumbs.
We have lost so many of our people. If I do nothing, they will all have died in vain. You're right. I'll make the talisman for you. But you should speak to Mathras. He seems to know things we don't about the creatures blocking the road.
I'll be good. Okay, the news is not great. According to what I've been able to find out with Mathras, the Palace of Black Frost is guarded by another one of his concubines, and it looks like she's too powerful for me to take.
Well, there was never much doubt about that, my boy, if you'll pardon my honesty. All is not lost, however. As I told you before, if you manage to eliminate the 3 other concubines, the power of the Guardian will be considerably reduced.
And while our own power is increased.
That's the plan. If somebody wants to come with me, we'll go together and track down these misunderstood love monsters. I'll be counting on the others to guard the camp. It's bound to get pretty hot around here fast, even more so if I mess this up.
I could come with you. I may not be the most powerful being among us, but I do know how to make myself useful. You can trust me to help.
You are more than qualified to help me, Sybil. I have no doubts about that.
This will give me a chance to repay my debt to you. What's more, I want to get some payback on that evil creature.
In that case, get ready. We should move out now.
I'm ready.
The Knight has been waiting for this moment a long time. A fight without hope, where he might claim victory at the risk of his life.
On to the hopeless battle then. But I wouldn't count on it being the last. We'll have plenty more to live through.
I'll go. I'm the best hunter you will find. And I have a score to settle with those harlots.
You make a good argument, but try to keep your head on your shoulders, would you?
Hey, it's me, remember?
My goodness, going on a concubine hunt sounds an awful lot of fun. I will assist you by diverting the attention of the one they call the Stalker. I'll arrange it so that she stays on the side of the ancient bridge near the doors to the city. Meanwhile, you can deal with her two sisters without fear of interruption. I would, however, advise you not to waste too much time. I'm not convinced my conversation will hold these illiterates' attention indefinitely.
Here, this object should prove useful to you. I don't know whether it will function perfectly, or even less for how long, but I sort of had to improvise.
Well, thanks, I guess. What does it do?
If it works, the same thing as the pillars, except that you can carry this with you. It minimizes the corrupting magic around you. The concubines and the undead that you will meet will find themselves weakened.
Sounds great. Thanks, Leestus. It's time for me to go do it. Good luck to you here.
Good luck to you.
Vulcan, don't go without me. I want to be there when you face the Creator.
Great. Let's go deal with her together.
Thank you. I'm glad you didn't forget your promise.
Sybil, can I talk to you?
Yes? What do you want to know?
concubine is keeping a pretty good watch over the way to the palace.
The Guardian is the #1 concubine. She's immortal, as long as her subordinates are alive to regenerate her.
This stalker won't be alerting the others anymore. We can cross that off the list. That little bitch won't be ruining the sewers with her rotting waste anymore.
I'm grateful to you for letting me take my revenge on her. It was important to me. You know, I wasn't sure whether we would get out of this place alive, but I have confidence when I'm with you. And I am happy to be with you. I mean, when you're with me, when we're together, sharing this challenge. Ah, you know what I mean.
Come on. Can't you just admit that you like me?
Why do you always have to complicate everything?
What am I complicating?
Everything. You make me say things that I shouldn't even have to... Ah, you're so irritating.
I can see what Blackfrost saw in her. Spunky. I think we've pretty much taken care of the concubines. That just leaves the Guardian and the palace.
We should head back to camp. I'm not sure we'll be able to turn back once we get to Black...
Okay, this is the moment where I politely suggest you tuck your tail between all those legs. Run away and let us pass without looking back.
And what reason could I possibly have for doing you a favor like that, little being?
Well, to save your ass, pretty much. You must have sensed that your time was near when I dusted your sisters.
They were never my sisters, insolent one, and you have accomplished nothing. My daughters are inferior to me in every way, as are you.
Ah, motherly love. I never got it. Basically, I'm making this offer to you out of principle, but I'm really hoping you're going to make me rip you a third one in battle. Those other two are for pooping, right?
So be it. It will be my pleasure to grant you your last request.
How fascinating. You are about to actually penetrate the realm of Lord Blackfrost. But do not fool yourself. You did not win your passage alone. It was the evil Lord himself who opened the way inside.
He's testing me.
Yes, and it would appear he now knows what to expect. This should be one of the most fascinating confrontations of the last several thousand years. I simply cannot wait to see the outcome.
Yeah? Well, I can't wait to get it over with. We're here. Black Frost is somewhere at the top of those stairs.
To face an Ice Lord. A fitting end to the journey the Knight has taken through this war. At the moment, the Knight has no hint of doubt in the extraordinary abilities of his friend. If he uses them wisely, he will surely be victorious.
Thank you for your support.
As soon as his friend gives the sign, the Knight will fight with all his heart.
I'll leave you. Do you know what's at the top of those steps?
But of course. My great age has not left me blind. It is the palace of Lord Blackfrost. At least that's what they call it now. Until quite recently, by my standards, it was named after its architect. A certain Kubla? Bakul? I can't remember for the moment, but in any case. This architect created the palace for the elves a couple of thousand years ago. I suspect he'd be most upset to see what they've done with the place. This Blackfrost fellow tore down one end of the building to build his home, and the rest of it is hanging over into the astral plane. Bulkarel! That was his name. This was Bulkarel Palace.
Is it dangerous?
Dangerous? Well, for mortals, obviously. But since it's been a few hundred years since I set foot in the astral plane, I suppose it could be an interesting distraction.
You're just a stairway away from Blackfrost.
We'll finally make him pay for his crimes. I can't wait to see him in the flesh and watch him die.
I wouldn't expect anything less from you. But now we are on his territory. Don't let your hatred blind you. I need you to be ready for anything up there.
Have no fear. I'll keep my eyes open before I open his throat. Tell me when you're ready to leave.
Blackfrost's palace is at the top of these steps. It may get a little hairy. Are you sure you want to come?
Of course I do. Stop babying me. You will need all of us, including me.
Any idea what's waiting for us up there?
I can't be certain. Very few people who have entered the palace of an Ice Lord have ever escaped to talk about it. But I did hear a story about a man who claimed to have escaped from the palace of the Ice Duchess. He said the palace was not even in Vertiel, that it floated in a limbo somewhere outside the world. That's probably why he traveled more than 1,000 leagues between escaping the palace and reaching safe ground. Yet only 2 days had passed.
And you think his story can be trusted?
It sounded true. And if it is, then it's possible that we won't be able to come back once we've climbed these stairs.
We're finally going to meet an Ice Lord. How do you feel? Scared? Excited?
A little of both, surely. It's so incredible. I would love to be able to interrogate him, to understand his motivations, what drove him to reduce our world to a pile of ice.
I'm sure he'll tell you all about it.
I know there's little chance of that, but still, I would really like to be able to understand what drives someone to become a monster.
Let's just try and beat this monster. As for the rest of it...
I'm ready. Just say the word.
It's time to take care of Blackfrost.
If you're certain you've taken care of your affairs here, I can see no reason to delay the inevitable any further.
We've waited long enough. All of his defenses are down. The concubines are dead. We need to strike now before he has time to react.
So be it. Let's do it.
My new protege. So happy you could make it.
You took your time about it, but I can see that you've made some real progress. Yes, you have.
Yeah, well, your concubines won't be progressing anywhere, ever. From now on, you're on your own, and there's no escape.
Well, that was never my intention. I am in my realm here. You and your companions are my guests. Oh, it seems that you too have lost some friends along the way. How very sad. More than most, I know how fragile a friendly alliance can be.
The Knight will tear out your tongue just before he watches you die.
Let's see how well you do without all your slaves.
Very well. In 6,000 years of existence, I don't think I've ever had a day quite as interesting as this one. Vulcan, my dear, this was a fight that deserves to be included in the history books, and I will make certain that it is. You may count on me to tell future generations about your exploits, if there is a future, that is. But that, of course, will depend on you.
I guess that's what we're all fighting for. But I'm not finished yet.
Clearly. And that is precisely why we are here. Each Ice Lord possesses the means to gain access to the World Heart from his or her own palace. It would doubtless be prudent to borrow this one before the other Ice Lords have time to react. I would have loved to accompany you, but I fear your destiny is to continue alone. The World Heart obeys neither the same rules nor the same magic as does the rest of Vertial. What you find there will be exactly what you bring.
You mean I'm going to end up confronted by myself?
I hope for your sake it does not turn out to be a confrontation, but it is highly probable that what you find there will be familiar to you.
We'll see.
You are come.
I said I would come.
But thou hast taken thy time. When thou didst flee, leaving me here, at the mercy of these sorcerers, what didst thou think would become of me? Didst thou e'en take time to think?
I don't know what you're talking about.
He speaketh to me.
What? Since when did I... You...
I did not lie to thee. I had no choice. I had to seize this chance to escape and find a way to fight back. lest we be enslaved here for all eternity. Eternity? Dost thou know how slow the hours pass when thou art the prey of 6 humans, consumed by their lust for power and vengeance? I know this as well as thou dost not. Thou knowest nothing. I too made use of the confusion. I riposted. I struck back at them, weakened them. But thou hast abandoned me to them. But now I am returned, and together we will crush them. Is't true? Thou art returned.
Easy to manipulate. A shy smile or two, and you were eating out of my hand. That's it! Run away! Run away with your tail between your legs!
The company could have been yours, but you preferred to take it by force and condemn the freeborn Blades through your pride and incompetence.
Captain.
You weren't capable of covering for your own brothers in arms.
That's right.
Did you think you could save Sparkiel?
I must thank you. Without your weakness and crass stupidity, I would never have had such a good opportunity to finish with that whining elf.
I knew that thou wouldst allow these humans to corrupt thee.
A dragon? You summoned a dragon?
Huh. One of the few they were able to corrupt, and I turned it against them. Blackstorm defeated it and imprisoned it here. It was trapped, like me.
So now you turned it against me?
It is thee who has turned against me, abandoning me here, left to pay the price for each and all of thy errors in thy stead, whilst I did all I could to help thee to return. And so it is, I am come to the end of my strength. An empty shell or taken with rot. I did not wish to harm thee, but I no longer am master of all that I do.
Is that why you killed my companions?
The visions? Blame rather thy human half, for that is who hath invoked them. With its fear and its regrets, thy companions never traveled through the breach.
So it comes to this. You and me. It's time we ended this.
Ha! It is all I have awaited. Remove these accursed lances from me, and let the World Heart become whole once more.
So this is what the World Heart looks like.
Yes. Terrible and magnificent. Nothing that I ever read could have prepared me for this vision.
I just hope that in spite of everything, your knowledge can help me. Because I have absolutely no idea what I should do.
Faced with any kind of choice, it is impossible to be sure of making the right decision. No one can see all the consequences of their actions on the future. But what I can tell you is that the entity within you is a piece, a limb, torn from the World Heart by its own will. By sending part of itself to Vertiel to inhabit a living body, it knew it would be protected until it was possible to get that part back. But while it was incarnate, the demons saw what we have done to the world, what terrible damage intelligent beings are capable of. Alas, I fear that now it wants to destroy everything. Wipe the face of the world clean of our corruption, rather than risk that it should happen again. You must free Vertiel from the Ice Lords and break their link with the World Heart, but do not abandon us to the demon. If you let him return to his source, he will certainly regain his strength, but all who live will be destroyed. He will take revenge for what men have made him suffer. None will be spared. And you will die. And I want you to live.
We're here, Radful. This is the World Heart.
The heart of the one who is just is often plagued with doubts, but it always speaks true at the last. When faced with the ultimate choice, the mercenary will remember his duty, and all will be resolved. The life of the knight has been spared by his friend. Now it is the fate of the world that is at stake. The faithful friend will remember his duty. The Ice Lords must perish.
The World Heart. We made it.
Much blood was spilled to bring us here. Let us make sure it was not in vain. Now you are faced with a difficult choice. My people are decimated, and the humans as well. No matter what happens tomorrow, today Virtue is a ruin.
The flame will burn bright anew, and the necromancers will be the first into the fire.
Fado
If I remove these spears, the Ice Lords will lose their power. But what will happen to Vertiel?
The world is weary, all but extinguished. Nothing remains to be saved. It must be cleansed.
But inside me is all the power I need to regenerate my world.
At the cost of mine? Do not think it. Vertiel needs the World Heart. Thou canst not sacrifice it thus.
There are still dragons, and this way the necromancers will be destroyed. The fire of the World Heart is not completely out. It will burn bright again, in time.
But without us, I forbid thee to do this. I will not die for thee.
And so ends the tragic, though nonetheless heroic tale of Vulcan Half-Demon. I confess I may have romanticized some aspects of the story, though in my defense, I shall always have something of a soft spot for our dear Vulcan. By releasing the World Heart's energy to the surface, he sacrificed himself in order to heal Vertiel and bring an end to the long winter. Ill-prepared for such a powerful energy surge, the Ice Lords were instantly reduced to cinders. I can tell you, no tears were shed at that funeral. Of course, it was only a few centuries before other would-be mages attempted to follow in their footsteps, though what wonderful centuries they were. With Captain Buffalo leading them, the Freeborn Blades legend grew, and they flourished for a time. Sadly, the legend of Buffalo's immortality proved less than accurate, and after 27 battle wounds and another 40 or so years, he eventually died in his bed, to the great sadness of the 3 charming young women who were sharing it with him at the time. Edwin's corpse was mutilated and burned by the command of King Relmar. Such a waste. I remember being quite disappointed at his decision, as I had hoped I might be able to inhabit her body. It had been an absolute age since I was last inside a woman. To no one's great surprise, Relmar proved to be a formidable monarch. Strong, just, and loved by all. He returned a sense of pride to the elves that the war had stolen from them. The Red Scribes... really? Don't get me started on those imbeciles. Nonetheless, it would be uncouth of me not to mention how heartbroken young Sybil was by Vulcan's death. Proud to have fought alongside such a courageous companion, the beautiful young scribe lifted her head high and transformed her grief into purpose. She quickly gained the respect of her peers and was elected chief scribe shortly afterwards when Liestas died quite suddenly. Apparently, the fool succumbed after having imbibed a large quantity of a somewhat questionable nectar that he and his doctor had invented. And as for myself, well, my goodness, I fear that is an extremely long story, and you would quite literally die of boredom before I finished the telling of it. But you see, that's what I like so much about mortals. Their stories last just about the right amount of time. Give or take a few decades. And then they're done. And then they come around again. One thing is certain, I have all the time in the world. So who knows? I may get to tell you other tales, if you live long enough. Toodle-pip.